CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. We begin tonight on Manitoulin Island, where the province's Special Investigations Unit has launched an investigation into an incident involving Manitoulin, Ontario Provincial Police. Not much is being revealed at this stage by the OPP. They can confirm one person was taken into custody Friday afternoon after reports of a stolen vehicle on Monday. That same individual reported an event took place while in custody that required medical care. Investigators aren't disclosing what that event was or the extent of the injuries. Representatives from the Province Department of National Defence, the City of North Bay, and the Health Unit gave an update to the public this evening about the ongoing PFAS situation in North Bay's drinking water and getting those contaminants removed. PFAS are man-made chemicals known as forever chemicals that were discovered nearly a decade ago. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
The first phase of PFAS remediation work is complete. That from officials who say a little over 26,000 tons of contaminated soil was removed at the Jack Garland Airport.
Now we're moving on to our next phase.
The chemicals entered the property from firefighting foam used during training in the mid-1970s to the late 1990s. The foam seeped into the soil, moving through groundwater into Lees Creek. That waterway is connected to Trout Lake, the source of North Bay's drinking water supply.
We're going to implement some groundwater remediation, and there will be several other phases, I suspect, and this could be going on for years.
How much are you going to get, and what's the difference between getting 90% versus 70%? Is that a dollar difference, or is it a technical obstacle?
The city is preparing to conduct a pilot study for surface water remediation for stormwater management just south of the airport.
We take the surface water as it comes down out of the storm ditches and then flow it through the absorptive media and then release it back into the stormwater pond. It is treating and removing the PFAS, similar to like a Brita filter.
The health unit says it has been conducting studies into North Bay's kidney cancer rate compared to the Ontario population and 2 other Northern Ontario cities.
There was one 5-year period in which the City of North Bay did have higher kidney cancer rates.
City officials are asking for an additional $107 million from the federal government for ongoing remediation and to design and engineer the water treatment plant so that it can treat PFAS.
And that would go a long way to addressing impacts on the population in the future.
A proposed class action lawsuit is seeking $105 million in damage and punitive damage for property owners with private residential drinking water wells within a 3-kilometer radius of 22 Wing Canadian Forces Base. A long-standing drinking water advisory for Lees Creek remains in place. There's also an advisory for eating fish from the creek in place too. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Sudbury police have laid charges in connection to a fatal ATV collision from the summer. On August 4th, an 11-year-old was killed off Portalos Road north of Campbell. After an investigation, a 46-year-old man was charged today with dangerous operation causing death and criminal negligence causing death. Still in Sudbury, investigators also laying charges in connection to a fatal motor vehicle crash back in June. Police have been called to the LaSalle extension around 6 a.m. June 17th. A 44-year-old man was killed following a collision that involved multiple vehicles. A 44-year-old man has been arrested and is now facing counts of dangerous operation, stunt driving, and speeding. There was a bit of a snag for anyone trying to leave Sudbury tonight. Commuters had to deal with a car fire on the LaSalle extension. These images captured less than a kilometer from the roundabout at Frood Road, showing a vehicle off-road engulfed in flames. No word if anyone was injured. CTV News has reached out to both the Sudbury Fire Department and the police for more details. The Mushkegowuk Council of Chiefs has declared a state of emergency across its territory. It's in response to the high levels of homelessness. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Officials are in the process of relocating about 80 people out of this encampment behind the Living Space homeless shelter in Timmins. They say it's a slow process because the shelter is at capacity and there is a shortage of affordable housing. With more than 400 homeless people in the Timmins area and most of them Indigenous, the Mushkegowuk Council has officially declared the homelessness situation an emergency. It's written to the Premier, Prime Minister and a number of ministers to invite them for a meeting. Mushkegowuk Council officials say society has created the problems and society has to fix them.
We're calling on the government, to step in here, step up, and come and help us, with funding, with immediate action.
Timmins Mayor Michelle Boileau says Mushkegowuk Council's declaration reflects the reality and supports it.
A state of emergency, you want to be able to bring an end to that state, and so it'll be important to be able to define what the path out of this is. Until we're able to do that, I'm not sure. Again, I'm hopeful, and if anything comes of it, I hope that at least it can start important conversations and conversations that can lead us somewhere.
To actually just put it into paper or make it a headline, yeah, that's valuable for sure. And I think if nothing else gets gained, hopefully it just sheds light on the fact that, there are hundreds of people in Timmins every night who are in a state of emergency, and hundreds of thousands of people in Ontario, and double that across Canada every night, who are in a state of emergency.
The emergency was declared Monday, and Mushkegowuk Council has yet to get a response.
Yeah, we just keep going, keep going with what we have, keep trying to get them to respond.
Mushkegowuk Council wants to establish a task force that includes all member First Nations and all levels of government to establish a long-term solution. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
The Sault Ste. Marie Police Service has removed the interim tag for its new deputy chief. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
We welcome you as the deputy chief.
With nearly 28 years of policing in Sault Ste. Marie, the service officially promoted William Freeman to the rank of deputy chief at its latest board meeting.
It's quite an honor to be selected for this position. I wish that my father and my uncle could have been around to see it, but I take it with a great degree of pride, and I look forward to moving forward with this service. I have a long, outstanding history with the Sault Ste. Marie Police Service, and I care about our community and the people that work here.
Freeman has served many roles at Sault Police. He has overseen patrol, investigative services, support services, and professional standards.
Billy Freeman has an excellent operational background. He had years in the tactical team, has always been a strong investigator and a strong leader in this organization. So yeah, his operational history around this organization is well known, and I think he'll be a real good leader in that area.
The meeting also saw an update on this year's budget projections, initially thought to be near $2 million over budget.
Our projection as at September 30th is now almost $1.2 million that we will be over budget.
Some of those numbers, obviously, we're going to have a hard time controlling. We made the hires. We're paying those salaries. I'm proud to see that the overtime has kind of come down this year compared to years previous, and that's all through good work and review of process. Helps when you have additional officers.
The Sault Ste. Marie Police Board recently presented to Council a budget worth $44 million for next year. It's an increase of over $4 million that Chief Duguay hopes will set a baseline to go forward into 2026 and 2027. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
A senior citizen in the greater Sudbury community of Lively is sharing her story after being scammed. CTV's Elena Everson reports.
Oh yeah, kisses.
66-year-old Maureen Potter was home last Wednesday with her cat Mustang when she received a troubling phone call.
I was told it was the TD bank and that my accounts have been hacked. Have you spent $5,000 on this, $2,000 on this? I said, no. He says, we have a Maureen Potter opening up bank accounts at the Bank of Montreal, the Royal Bank, the CIBC. I said, it's not me.
The caller then told her she would be transferred to the fraud department and was instructed to withdraw $4,500 from her bank account. She walked there with the caller still on the line.
When I get to the bank, he said, whatever you do, don't talk to anybody, just withdraw the $4,500. If they say anything, you tell them it's for Christmas presents. I do what he says.
She was then instructed to go to an identification machine and deposit money to verify her identity. The closest was a variety store in Coppercliff. She doesn't drive, so she went by taxi.
He sent me a barcode that has the Ministry of Attorney General, the TD Bank. Again, I still think this is valid. I start to go to the machine, and the store owner comes out and says, stop, 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 fraud, fraud, fraud. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the police. And now my heart's beating like crazy. I'm thinking, oh my God, David. I said, they're going to call the police.
She left the store in the taxi before police arrived, but the store owner told police the name of the taxi company. Potter was instructed to go to another convenience store with an identification machine, where she began depositing her money.
And I looked to my side, and there's a police officer. He goes, stop, ma'am, stop what you're doing, stop what you're doing. Fraud, I'm telling you right now, ma'am, this is fraud. And I'm so in a tizzy at this point, I don't listen to the police officer because I have David saying, do it, do it, do it.
She says the police officer then explained what had just happened.
I had just deposited $4,500 into a Bitcoin machine that is going into the scammer's wallet.
The senior says she is humiliated she fell for the scam, but is sharing her story to make others aware. She is also commending police for their response. Potter is trying to recover the money, but hasn't yet. Alana Everson, CTV News, Lively.
At a meeting last night, the Near North District School Board elected a new board chair and vice chair. It's dealing with pressure from the Minister of Education, who has threatened to take over the board. Jay Aspin has been tasked with leading the board after Education Minister Paul Calandra said the Near North board would be the first he'd be looking into taking over if Bill 33 passed, which it did. The board has been under intense scrutiny from the Ministry of Education over the delayed opening of a $58 million Parry Sound school. Aspin has pledged the board will regain public trust and confidence. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, look at the current conditions and what a warmer day compared to yesterday. Except for Sudbury and North Bay, we're still a little bit on the cool side over there. North Bay, you are the coolest at the moment. Kapuskasing 0, Timmins -1. A little bit of flurries, but not a lot. We'll have details in a moment.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, the weather story this week continues with some surprises in the form of precipitation. We're going to get some flurries, and we're going to get some rain. We're going to get some sunshine, a little bit of everything. Let's have a look at our forecast radar now. This system moving into the northeast by about supper time for tomorrow. There you can see the snow and the precipitation right behind it, a low pressure system. And of course, that will reflect in some of the changing conditions here in the northeast. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast right now. Sudbury Nickel Belt, we've got some cloud cover to start things off, but the precipitation will start tomorrow evening. A high of 3 degrees. Chance of sleet on Friday, some showers, flurries at 3, -2 Saturday, sunshine. Sunday, chance of showers at 5 degrees, chance of sleet Monday. Here we go again, 2 and 1 Tuesday with the cloud cover. In Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, we've got rain tomorrow, periods of rain at 5. 4 degrees on Friday, 60% chance of sleet, diminishing to 30% chance on Saturday. 3 degrees the high, chance of showers on Sunday at 7. 4 degrees Monday with the chance of sleet, and more cloud cover Tuesday with a high of 4, slightly above normal. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of flurries for tomorrow at 2. Again on Friday, 60% the chance, and a high of only 0. -3 on Saturday, some sun and cloud. 3 degrees on Sunday, chance of sleet at 60%, 30% chance of flurries Monday, 0 up and down the weather for the next couple of days in some areas, and some cloud cover Tuesday at 0. How about Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake? Cloud cover tomorrow at 2. Chance of flurries at 60% Friday at 1. -2 Saturday, sun and cloud. Chance of sleet at 40% Sunday at 3. Chance of flurries 30% Monday at 1. And 1 degree with the chance of flurries again on Tuesday. So again, a variation of conditions over the course of the next few days. North Bay, West Nipissing, here we go. Mainly cloudy for tomorrow at 4. 6 degrees on Friday, chance of sleet at 60%. Saturday, sunny skies at -1. Chance of showers Sunday, 40%. Warming up to 7. Go figure. Chance of sleet at, 30% Monday, only 3, and 2 degrees Tuesday with the cloud cover. Normally you should be sitting at around 2, so some normal temperatures. We're all over the road, Ian Campbell, over the course of the next couple of days. It's going to be interesting in terms of Santa Claus parades coming up this weekend as well. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Well, tomorrow marks Transgender Day of Remembrance, which honors transgender individuals lost to violence. This week, we're featuring the personal stories of longtime advocates who've worked to ensure trans voices are heard. CTV's Angela Gemmell has this story and a warning. This story deals with suicidal ideation.
For almost 20 years, Vincent Bolt has used he, him pronouns. It was around the age of 14 in the early 2000s he realized the gender assigned at birth was not the one he identified with.
At that time, we had no local resources specifically for trans people, so it was a lot of finding books in the library, Googling information, and trying to find clues to, like, what do I do next?
He came out as transgender while still in high school. His family wasn't initially supportive, but his emotional distress changed their perspective.
They realized after I'd been hospitalized for 3.5 weeks due to a suicide attempt that if they didn't accept me fully, they would lose me entirely. It became very clear. It's like, we'd rather our kid be trans than dead.
He says there was a lot of learning in those first few years for everyone in his world. That included his high school, medical professionals, and others. Vincent says due to a lack of awareness, he experienced mistreatment.
People who would misgender me, being bullied by nurses, even having to just give a basic trans 101 to service providers motivated me to get involved.
It was during those teenage years when Vincent started openly telling his story. That led to advocacy work.
Creating a better world for myself and friends who were starting to come out, I needed to do something. And I could either sit on my butt and do nothing, or I could become an activist.
He found a small transgender community and they became each other's support.
It was just me and older trans women. So here I am, 17 years old, 18 years old, learning about wigs and makeup and tucking, but at least I felt like here's a space where I belong.
Those early years shaped a career direction too. Now a psychotherapist, Vincent has many clients who identify as trans or queer who seek out his help because of shared experience.
I know how to navigate the system because I've been through it. When a client's like, I don't know what to expect after top surgery, I can say, well, been there, done that, here's what you can expect.
As Trans Day of Remembrance approaches, Bolt says it's a reminder of those who no longer have a voice. The day honors transgender individuals who've been murdered, died suspiciously, or died by suicide. Each year, new names are added.
To see that some of these deaths are happening closer and closer to home, we need more advocacy, we need more protections, and we need a shift in attitudes in society still.
Despite the heightened political climate, particularly south of the border, Vincent says advocacy conquers fear.
I've never had time to be afraid. I just do what I need to do, because if I just live in fear, then nothing changes at all, or the bad guys win.
As for what's still needed, Bolt says that's a long list, but permanent funding for community groups tops that list.
The Teaching Ourselves groups are running without funding right now by really dedicated volunteers. So we need funders, and it not just be 1-year grants or 3-year grants. It needs to be permanent funding.
Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Tomorrow, Angela will have the story of one of the founding members of TG Inner Selves, a support group for transgender people. There's also a vigil planned tomorrow evening to mark the Transgender Day of Remembrance. That's at the main branch at the Sudbury Library starting at 6:30 p.m. Well, it's Wednesday, and every Wednesday we take time out to chat with a mayor from around the north in a segment we call the Mayor's Chair. Earlier tonight, I had the chance to sit down with Mayor Matthew Shoemaker of Sault Ste. Marie, where it's budget time. Here's part of our conversation.
My effort over the last 11 years that I've been a member of council has always been to find as much savings as possible. I had been keeping track of a number. I think we're up to about 3 million over my time on council, and looking for several million more, hopefully, over the course of these budget deliberations in the coming weeks. I'd like to get that proposed or preliminary increase lower, obviously, so that residents can continue to have kind of affordable and manageable tax rates in the community.
Our thanks to Mayor Shoemaker. That full interview will be up on our website and our YouTube page. Next week, we'll sit down with Mayor Ethel LaValle of the Township of South Algonquin. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. Major mining news about the old Levack mine. More on that in just a moment. Only one game on the ice tonight, this one over in the OHL. The Sudbury Wolves playing host to the Barrie Colts. Despite outshooting Barrie 45-22, the Sudbury slump continues. The Colts get 3 unanswered goals in the third to give Barrie the 5-2 win. Big news from Sudbury-based Magna Mining today about deposits at the Levack mine site. The company says the results of a mineral resource estimate are higher than expected. Deposits contain copper, nickel, and several precious metals, including gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. Next steps for Magna will be awarding an assessment contract to be completed in 2026. In the new year, a northern politician is going to present a petition to the House of Commons. It's calling on the federal government to review and award Canada's highest military honor to a former North Bay veteran. CTV's Amanda Hicks has more.
For veterans Mike Harrison and Timothy Fike, the late Private Jess LaRochelle is a symbol of valor in the war in Afghanistan. During a fierce Taliban attack in 2006, the North Bay private was severely wounded. Yet he single-handedly defended his position, holding off an estimated 40 enemy fighters.
He left his bunker, went out, exposed himself, and fired the M72 rocket launcher directly into this force that was attacking him, exposing himself dozens of times to enemy fire and to unbelievable personal risk. Everybody who was there says if he hadn't done it, the Taliban would have overrun the position.
Jess represents all veterans, especially veterans that fought in Afghanistan, like myself and others, that after returning to Canada, reflecting on their service, whether they're still in or whether they've released, and we're recognizing that there's been a gap in recognition.
LaRochelle was awarded the Star of Military Valor in 2007, Canada's second highest military honor. Advocates have questioned why he hasn't received the Victoria Cross, Canada's highest medal, which has existed for 30 years but hasn't been awarded to any soldier. In a petition that has garnered more than 16,000 signatures across the country, Harrison and Fike are a part of a group advocating for the review and distribution of the prestigious medal.
No matter what you have done, the Canadian government refuses to hand it out. So for us, this is a petition about correcting that injustice.
The petition will now formally reach Parliament Hill for the second time.
I think this would be very important to, first and foremost, Jess's family and his friends. Veterans are important to the city of North Bay, to our legions, and so I think it would be significant for them.
Harrison and Fike are hoping LaRochelle will be awarded the honor posthumously because he passed away in 2023. The deadline to sign the petition is tomorrow morning at 11:30. It will then be presented sometime after Christmas, where the government will have 45 days to formally respond. The hope is that the pressure will compel Ottawa to finally fully acknowledge the sacrifices made by soldiers like LaRochelle and grant them the honor they deserve in life or in death. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, North Bay.
Finally for us tonight, a very poignant and sad anniversary today on Manitoulin Island has turned into something positive thanks to family and friends. Today marks 5 years since OPP Constable Mark Hovind was shot and killed in the line of duty in Gore Bay. Tonight, his friends and family gathered for their annual Stuff a Cruiser tradition. Donations and non-perishables were collected for the Manitoulin Food Bank over the dinner hour outside the Mindamoya Foodland. Last year, almost 1,800 pounds of food was collected.
It's overwhelmingly beautiful. It's hard to believe that it's been 5 years since Mark has passed, and this is such a beautiful way to remember him, and our family is so grateful for this and just for all the continued love and support from so many.
So it's a really special event. It gives people something positive to look forward to on a very heavy day. It's a way that we can ensure that Mark is continuing to give back to the community. Community members have a chance to come here, talk about Mark, talk about their memories, and contribute to the well-being of other families for this holiday season.
Hoving back in 2020 was answering a call about a trailer illegally parked on a homeowner's property outside Gore Bay when he exchanged gunfire with a civilian. Gary Broman, both men died in the incident. Hard to believe it's been 5 years. I know he made such a big impact on Manitoulin. May his memory be a blessing to those on the island. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.